Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing. Testing 1 2 3. So we'll take this away. And we'll add this. Okay.
Good morning and welcome to the best thing that's ever happened to you in your whole life. And, you know, there are some things that can be fixed by the simultaneous sip, and one of them is the anticipation of the simultaneous sip can fix your printer. I know you don't believe that, but the people on Locals just saw it live. And if you'd like to fix your printer too, by doing nothing whatsoever but sipping a beverage, all you have to do is find yourself a cup or mug or a glass, a tank or chalice, a stein, a canteen, jug or flask, a vessel of any kind. Fill it with your favorite beverage, like coffee, and join me now for the unparalleled pleasure. It's the dopamine hit of the day. It's the thing that makes everything better. It's called the simultaneous sip, and this will fix your printer along with many of your technical, personal, and sexual problems. It's called the simultaneous sip, and it happens now. Go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Rasmussen did a poll to find out how people were thinking of Biden's first year in the office. How do you think that went? Did the public say, whoa, Biden's nailing it. Got to get a lot more of him. Was it something like that? Or did 50% say he was very unsuccessful? 10% say he's somewhat unsuccessful for a full 60% believing it was not a successful year. That's not good. That's not good at all. More than that, 57% said we're more divided than before. Well, given that he's the great bringer together, and he ended up being the great divider, I would say that is a unambiguous failure. Unambiguous failure. But let me give you some political advice. Never promise to bring the country together, because that's sort of a losing battle. Don't promise that you'll beat a pandemic and bring the country together. Nope. There are two things you're not going to do. So I guess Biden learned that. Here's a political / virus question for you. Ian Martises asked this question. Can we calculate, I'm sort of paraphrasing his question, but could we calculate how many people died because the vaccination rollout was delayed from the time that we had all the data we were going to use for the decision, it looks like, until maybe after the election or for some other political reason? Do you think that we would be able to determine how many people died because we waited on the vaccines? Some would say for political reasons. Some would say maybe not. Anatoly Lubarsky points out that he says, we did not know the effectiveness nor the safety rates before November. And that took a while to scale up. And Ian replied to that saying that his understanding is that there was no new data that was presented after the delay. And I asked the same questions. How hard do you have to look at the data to know if it says up or down? I feel like the data, if it is packaged in a way that is meant to be read, would tell you if it works right away. Wouldn't it say, here's the data. On this tab, you can see that the bad side effects were this, but you can see that the effectiveness was this. Or do they just give you raw data And then every single person who looks at it has to like come to their own conclusions? Is that how it works? I would think that the data says, summary, we have this many side effects, we have this many benefits. Am I wrong about that? That would be a pretty basic assumption. So why would it take more than 10 minutes for somebody who's not going to do a deep dive themselves? Why would it take somebody more than 10 minutes to say yes? Now, of course, you'd want somebody who is really good at looking at data to jump in and ask a bunch of questions, but that's adding a week. Am I right? Because it's a crisis, it's an emergency. You'd get the best people on the job. You'd fly them in. You'd spare no expense. Why would it take more than a week for the best data, spelunker in the world to dig in and just see if there's anything fishy in the data? So I don't know what the reason would be for the delay if it were not political. How many of you think that there was a political delay unrelated to anything functional or any real obstacles? Yeah, there are a lot of people who suspect it, but I think it's something short of definite. So I think somebody's going to end up calculating that. Of course, it'll be highly controversial. Now, did you hear that Ray Epps is going to testify to the January 6th committee? So the famous Ray Epps, the guy that many think is a Fed. And so here's the mystery of, let's see, why did was it Kippinger or whatever said, Clippinger, what's his name? Said that.
Hello. Okay. Okay, that is that. And okay, we're at 12. Let me write this down. I wrote down 12:46 or whatever, and that's when I speak into the microphone. So here I am speaking into the microphone now. After that, at 13:15 or whatever, the piano will play. Okay, right away, I'm going to be talking at the same time. Here I am talking, here I am playing. Here I am talking again, here I am playing again. Okay, that's the piano playing. Okay, I'm gonna close this out and look at the tape of this live stream.